Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing really well today. I'm Michelle Legaly. Every single week, we come on and do some type of intuitive life coaching or give you a tip towards your abilities or coaching of some kind, tools, techniques. And this week, it's all about we're continuing part 2 of turning your abilities off and on as an intuitive soul. So if you are here with me live, please say hello in the chat. I'd love to say hi back to you. If you're watching the replay, just put hashtag replay. That's awesome too. I know a lot of people work during the day, of course, and they catch it in the evening. Awesome. Sharon, good to see you. Amanda, good to see you. Paula, happy Fat Tuesday to you also. I didn't even realize it was Fat Tuesday. Welcome. Teresa, good to see you. Okay, here's what we're doing today. We're doing turning our abilities off and on, part 2. And sometimes I think about it, maybe it's not the best thing to say turning your abilities off and on. Maybe it's better to say turn your abilities down and up. So use whatever serves you. Think about it in the way that works for you, and that would be great. Okay, so a real quick recap of last week. So last week we talked about turning your abilities off and on. We did the light switch technique, and we also did the closing your eyes technique, which is the one I use the most. Those are just 2. If you have better techniques, put them in the chat, right? I know what I know. You know what you know. And if we all share what all we know, we all become way wiser, right? That's why we're here together. I won't go too much into what we did last week. If you're interested in that and didn't get a chance to see it, go check it out. That training, you got an email if you're on my email list, and you can also find it inside the Empaths and Senses Facebook group. Okay, here's what we're going to do today based on what we learned last week. I would like to just practice turning your abilities off or down or up or on. Does that make sense? Let's just practice. And if you've been practicing this whole week, you're going to be better at this. If you haven't thought about it again till right now, that's okay too. Don't worry. We can practice right now. Okay, so here's what I was thinking. I was thinking that you would practice. We would use me. So you're going to notice me since I'm the one talking anyway. But I want to ask you. I want you to play around with this. So as I'm talking to you right now, notice how you're picking up on the information. Maybe you're even picking up. Just notice what you're picking up about me. Is it just the words that I'm saying? Do you notice that you have a certain feeling about me? So this is step 1. I want you to just notice how you're naturally wired. Do it right now while I'm talking to you. What are you picking up on? The words, my facial expressions. Do you get a feeling? Do you get a knowing? What do you just notice your baseline way of perceiving? Type it in the chat if you want to. Like what are you noticing just by default, by the way you're wired? Paula says she's noticing how the energy is flowing. Awesome, Paula. So this is like understanding your default settings, understanding what like your baseline. Amanda says all of the above, LOL. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like I get that. Notice the thoughts that come to your mind, the feelings, the knowing. Notice how the words that I'm saying land with you. Notice when something doesn't sound right to you or when it resonates with you. How do you know that? Like, what are your default settings? You becoming aware of how you're wired is so important. You knowing you is so valuable. Somebody else just said feeling clearness. Can you guys, everybody else, share something that you're noticing, your default settings? Because when you share yours, like when I saw that someone wrote feeling clearness, I never thought to think that before. But now I can play around with, what does feeling clearness feel like? Feel like. So do you see how you can add to your own abilities when someone shares? Paula said she notices my intention for us to become aware of our desires. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good. So we got a baseline now. Now let's switch it. I'm going to keep talking, but now the intention right now is for you to turn me off. Don't turn the video off. Maybe you can. I don't know. Like, how are you going to turn down what you're picking up from me? I want you to intentionally turn down. Well, how would you do that? How would you not pick up on as much as you did at your baseline? I want you to pick up less about me than you did a minute ago. I want you to figure out right now how you are going, what are you going to do inside of you to pick up less about me, about even the words I'm saying, about the feelings you're feeling about me, about my intentions. What are you going to do naturally? Type it in the chat when you figure out what you're naturally going to do to not take me in. Somebody said, I'm muting my heart. That's fascinating. I create a bubble of protection. I divert my mental attention elsewhere. I turn inwards towards my own desire, like closing a door to the outside world. You guys, I'm getting chills. I couldn't have created all these ways. This is you. You know what to do already. I shift focus to something else. I close the door. What else are you doing? Everyone write something in the chat so we all have all these tools. You know what I did when I practiced before this class? I put a huge wall up between me and the person I was watching online. I put a wall up. That was instinctually what came to me. Pull in my auric field, closing the eye of my heart. You guys, we already know what to do to turn it off. We already know. I close and lock the door in front of me. I envision a clear plexiglass wall between us. I think these are all better than turning the lights on and off and closing our eyes. You guys, we have the answers. You already know. I put a blanket around myself. Okay, awesome. That was so good, you guys. That was so good. I set an intention to block the other energy. Okay, good. We just got about a dozen or more great techniques. Okay, let's switch gears. That was us turning it down, not taking it in. Before we go anywhere else, are there times in your life where it would be a good idea for you to use that technique that you just created? Can you think of times in your life where it would be a good idea to put a blanket around yourself, or to close and lock the door in front of you, or to pull in your auric field, or to set the intention to block the other energy? Can you guys think about times in your life where you could pull out this tool that you just created for yourself and use it to keep you healthy and happy? Yes or no in the chat. OMG, yes. Absolutely. Type it in the chat. When there is negativity, yes. Yes, when I go to the mall, especially around Christmas time, I can relate to that. When someone starts judging me or gossiping, yes. Good. Anytime we are online scrolling our social media news feeds or reading others writing memes, watching news, etc., 100% yes. Okay, so did you learn right now, but really you did it, how an awesome technique for you to turn it down or turn it off when it would serve you? Most sensitive souls are just wide open and forget that they have the ability and the choice to go, I'm not giving that much energy. I don't want to take that in, or I do want to open myself up more. We have literally, I use that control. Remember every day what you're turning your control to. Okay, let's switch gears. So that was turning it down or turning it off. You created your own technique. You're going to use that technique. You're going to stay aware of that you have that ability. Let's turn it up now. What would you do to pick up more about me right now? What would you naturally do? Watch yourself right now. I want to see what you do. Like, set the intention. I want to hear Michelle more, feel Michelle more, know Michelle more. What do you do to turn up the dial? Type it in the chat. What did you do? Maybe you just did the opposite of what you did before. You open the door, you unlock the door, you open it up. It could be that simple. What are you going to do to amp up your willingness to open your energy to me? Open and expand my heart chakra area. Good. Tune into feelings, not thoughts. Yeah. Set the intention in my heart and in my third eye, then open the door I had closed. I turn up, I go into my heart space, I go deeper into my third eye. I set the intention to allow it to expand. I breathe deeply, breathe out softly. Block everything else to focus. Isn't it amazing how we already know what to do? And maybe the issue is that we just remember that we have this ability, that we get to choose at every minute what our dial should be at, if it should be turned down or turned up. What else? I want everyone to do this who's here. And if you're catching the replay, do it and answer this too. What are you doing now to tap into me and hear and feel and get as, open up as much as possible? Okay. I'm not getting it. I don't think I see any more responses right now. So I think that's it for that. If you want to do a little bit more playing, for those of you who are willing and who've opened up the door or opened up your heart, do you want to sense or feel something about me and put it in the chat? And if you don't want to because you don't like that, that's fine. If you like, this is coming from a place of play and joy. If you want to share with me something you picked up, put it in the chat and I'll give you some feedback right now, because feedback is the way that you're going to see that that's what builds your confidence and your belief in yourself. So if anybody wants to do it right now, I'm here for a few minutes and I'll give you some feedback. So as you turn on your abilities, open your heart, block everything else, whatever your method is, what do you get? What's the first thing that either comes to your mind or a feeling you get or a thought? I'm not asking you to predict my future or my past. What comes to you in the moment? And it could feel like your stuff. It doesn't matter. Just give what you get. This is what I teach inside of Intuition Circle. It's exuding love. I can relate to that because I could not want more for you. I could not want you to succeed more. Your colors are very bright. Oh, thank you. I can relate to that. If you guys are going to laugh, because I'm going to say to everything, I can relate to that, because a good intuitive can take anything and understand what it means for them. Does that make sense? I see a gentle excitement in you and in your heart. Amen, Paula. Yes, I can relate to that. Leona, warmth. Yes, I can relate to that. Like in my heart space and in physical life in Cincinnati, Ohio, like we're having a really warm day today. I'm really excited. Laura says, I'm sensing anxiety. Absolutely, Laura. It's something I deal with all the time. Let me see, who else? You have good energy. Thank you. And I can accept that too. I feel like a very positive person. I feel confidence coming from you in a free spirit kind of way, not from ego, openness. Awesome. I can relate to that. Yes. I see lots of gentle deer and bunnies around you, exuding gentle and sweet energy, power animals. I love that. I love that. Yes, I can relate to that. Nervous and excited energy in your stomach. Absolutely. That's where I feel my anxiety, nervous, and honestly excited too. I feel excited there. Lots of times I struggle to know the difference between excited, nervous, and anxiety. They feel very similar to me. Sharon says, you are very real and honest. Awesome. Thank you. I can take that too. Was this helpful for you today? I hope it doesn't look like I come on and say, give me a reading, please. I don't mean that at all. I want you to know that you have abilities, and I know you already know that. Your abilities are your gift. You have way more control over your abilities than you know. Once you understand how much control you have over your abilities, you can use that knowledge to make your life even greater if that's a desire for you. And then usually our kind of people want to go out and use those abilities to help other people. And that really creates a sense of fulfillment for sensitive souls. I hope this made sense today. I hope it was helpful. So it's really interesting. Last week, I gave you the light switch technique and the close your eyes technique. This week, you had to create your own technique. I think you creating your own technique is way more valuable than what you learned last week. I'm sure all are valuable, but when you start to see what you already have the answers, and I was probably just created a space for you to see those answers. That's it. So good job on you. So do not forget what you did, that you get to turn down or off your abilities when it serves you and turn them up and on. Does that make sense? Build that skill. Don't let it die. Don't forget. Write yourself a Post-it note that says, I get to choose if I want my abilities turned down or turned up. And you keep practicing that skill. If you want to practice this in community in the month of March, inside of Intuition Circle, this is what we're doing all month. We are turning our abilities on and off. And then we're also turning up each ability, like the ability to feel. We're going to turn that up and down. The ability to know, turn that one up and down. Turn the ability to hear, clairaudience, up and down. And what's the other one? See, clairvoyance. Our ability to see, we're going to turn that one up and down. Because we all have all abilities. Some of us are just strong. All of us are stronger in one or two than the others. So you get to practice this month if you want to. If you're interested in that, please say me in the chat. We will make sure we get you the link to Intuition Circle. We meet this Wednesday at 1:00 live. We meet almost every Wednesday at 1:00 live, if that works for you. So if you're interested, say me in the chat. And if you're not, that's okay too. Okay. Thank you so much. I will see you next Tuesday. Not exactly sure what we're doing yet. I'm always like just in the moment doing this, but I will be here again next Tuesday. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.